Hey, Herbert, what you gonna do today? Same thing we do every night, Mother. See if aliens are gonna try to take over the world. Aliens in the UK. They're aliens in the UK. We've got Herbert, Hannah, and Augie. They're insane. They're astronomers, oh yes, trying to save the Earth from aliens. Aliens in the UK. K, 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 K. War of the Worlds, the attack, as opposed to the other attacks that happened in the variations of War of the Worlds, going all the way back to the original radio broadcast, and then the 1950s edition, and then the Tom Cruise edition, and a bunch of TV versions and everything. Yes, War of the Worlds, the attack, written and directed by Junyad Siad. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, I do apologize. Shorts and lots of special effects supervisory work on his IMDb page, and also written by Tom Joliffe. Joliffe, Joliffe, oh, what are you writing, please? Oh boy, this movie. Check out his IMDb page, a lot of writing credits for various forms of schlock horror, but you know what? He's getting work. Everybody got work in this movie, obviously. That's why they were all in it, and they were all on film, and they were listed in the credits. Pretty much how filmmaking works. So, this is about, wait for it, aliens invading, like the previous War of the World movies. And there is Herbert, played by Sam Gittins. There's Laura Lemon, who plays Hannah, the lone woman that gets the most TV, or most screen time of this. And also Augie, that's the best I'm going to try to pronounce his name. Alhaji Fafna, if I mispronounce that in any way, I do apologize. There are three young astronomers, and an alien invasion happens. And then aliens, on all spider legs, tentacle, hen tied together, and whatever, they're spraying their lasers all over the goddamn place, kidnapping people, shooting people, turning them into ash, and then getting people and trying to get their juices and everything, seemingly. Trying to capture them. Why? Because these aliens came from Mars, and they're like, we're going to kill humanity. And then these three young astronomers have to figure out what they're going to do. They meet a young man, well, a bit of an older guy named Ben, but I guess young compared to some of the people in this movie, played by Leo Starr, because aliens killed the Leo Starr. Oh, wait, was that a spoiler? Really doesn't matter. They end up banding together, riding bikes because they can't use gas-powered vehicles, and try to figure out a way to stop this alien invasion. I'm going to say right now I didn't expect much from this based on the poster, based on the trailer that I got sent. It looked low budget, and they were trying to have a little bit of fun, and I can't fault them for that. That being said, this movie was terrible. I mean, this was just basically a carbon copy of War of the Worlds, the concept and everything, only dimmer, and with less intelligence behind it, and really just banal, bland writing and special effects that were fine. I mean, I didn't expect much. But there was one particular subplot that absolutely made me laugh, involving a preacher just going nuts because either they ran out of money or they're like, oh shit, we only have enough time, we only have enough budget to devote this much screen time to the alien invaders, so we have to do this. We have to go over here and do this and make this a subplot with one of the worst characters and some of the worst decision-making based on any characters that have ever existed on screen, television or otherwise. That was so goddamn hilarious and bad and terrible that even the stuff before that was atypical, this made me think, hey, remember when this was about aliens? Yeah, that was hilarious. So from there, we basically just get a conclusion that made me just think, oh, okay, we're just going to do this. We're going to wrap it up because we have nothing else to provide, because it's just a War of the Worlds movie. Everybody got work, that's good. The movie is not good. The movie is terrible. I paid about $8 to rent this on Amazon. Why not? I'm not supporting films, even if I end up hating them. I'm not going to pirate them. I'm going to support the filmmakers. That's what I'm going to do. Yes. Check it out on Amazon if you want, or wait for it to pop up on a streaming service. There are certainly worse uses of your time, but this, from an acting standpoint, and even at first, the movie actually starts out okay. And then it just descends into stupidity. Further and further into stupidity. And it just feels like a film that the Asylum would have produced, or that should have come out, I don't know, right around the time that the Tom Cruise version did. In fact, it seems like this was caught in that time period, like how the Asylum hacks out movies right after something really popular comes out, Pacific Rim, Atlantic Rim, and so on. Yeah, it's not very good. I'm going to get into spoilers. Spoilers will not take very long. 3, 2, 1. This is your final warning. Your final goddamn warning. Spoilers. Okay. So, Herb, as they say at one point, lost his dad. His mom says this in a dumping of exposition, says, you should visit your uncle. Your uncle's one of the only people that, has a connection to your dad. So the three people, or the three young astronomers, Hannah, Augie, and Herb, are in the woods. It sure sounds like a nice nighttime scene. Sure wish I could see it. And they think they heard something land, but they're like, shit. Herb offers them to stay at their house since it's getting late. They're going to head out in the morning. Then the mother mentions, hey, by the way, some meteorite or whatever popped up on this hill. Oh, shit, we need to go there. Then they go there. The police are there, a bunch of onlookers. And then Herbert has some weird kind of connection with the ship because they open up this thing and he's just looking and all fascinated and it gets all smoky and then disappears up into the sky and then teleports itself out because apparently 60,000-foot creatures could not actually exist in a 60-foot spaceship. Actually, I think they're only maybe 100 feet, but nevertheless. They start frying people, and then everybody just has to basically freak out and go away. Also, there's a doctor named Dr. Stint, who had a brief stint in this movie, and it was played by Kathy DeConto. Whatever. She's there to basically be there in the very beginning and provide the explanation at the end. There's a bit of a news report before all the technology goes down. This preacher freaking out and saying, we're all sinners and we're all going to die and it's our fault. Then they get a video deal, or they get they find a guy named Ben who happens to understand that they can't use particular vehicles. He gets told by his superior over walkie-talkie, because walkie-talkie technology apparently is not traceable by these powerful aliens. They can't use gas-powered vehicles, so they use the bikes the kids have. And London is apparently fine. It's not fine by the time they get there. They get to this outpost. They get on this boat, the banana boat. And then this one alien rises up from the trees. Hi, can I get a ride too? And then gets blown up and, ow, dicks, I just want a ride. And then they think they're all safe because these jets fire a bunch of missiles and blow them up. And then they suddenly don't realize over here, literally right over here, there's a bunch of aliens. They're like, shit, how did we not see them? So then they manage to race away in a boat eventually. They run into that same preacher that was freaking out. And since he's the only person there, and since we've run out of plot to develop until we can figure out what we're going to do with the aliens and the rest of the attacks, let's have this preacher basically say, we're all going to die, and hey, I go find these houses that up there that have food. And then the preacher follows them, and he's all creepy and weird and says, well, you're all sinners. I'm going to eventually kill you, except the girl. I'm going to use her to help repopulate the earth because he's nuts. Gross. This goes on for like 15 to 20 minutes. It seemed to go on for a goddamn hour. This was abysmal. I mean, I'm not even knocking the people I'm not even knocking them as people. The acting here was terrible. The dialogue was terrible. I wrote down, remember when this was about aliens invading? And he then says, hey, by the way, we're done eating. I'm going to go take a nap. And instead of leaving out the door while he's asleep, they're just sitting there. And then the alien reaches through with his tentacle and pushes it through him and wraps around him and takes him away. So that was it. And then they meet up with Ben again, who's apparently still alive. They manage to get back to the outpost area with the meteor, or the ship. And they separate because you got to keep them separated. Hey. And Ben saves Augie by blowing himself up because why not? And then Hannah and Herb, they all escape and go underground. They go into the sewer. That was an idea a bit earlier, and it is what it is. And then they rise back up. Next, they get out from underground. They look around, and they're like, hey, wait a second. Something doesn't look good. Why are they all dying? Oh, they were kidnapping a whole bunch of people. They had a bunch of eggs all set out for new alien life, and the bacteria we have in us killed the aliens, just the same as before. Nothing original, nothing whatever. I mean, sure, that's kind of cool how they did that, but still, nothing about this movie is original or good or even halfway decent. And I mean, actually, that's unfair. It starts out all right, but it's just so generic and painfully bland. That's all I really have to say about that. It gets an F. It's not good. It's 80 minutes, and it feels like it has about 30 more minutes tacked on to that. It's not good. The doctor explains all this stuff. But the egg, one of the eggs starts a little tendril, so they're going to do War of the Worlds, The Attack 2. Electric, we should have fried these eggs boogaloo. Over easy. Anyway, so yeah, F. Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Riplin. I'll see you soon.